Virgo, welcome to your mid-February 2022 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. It feels like I'm getting a lot of world cards, or at least some of these other signs, and of course endings, and yeah, maybe a lot of people feel that they're going through a transition at this time in some area of their life. So that's pretty interesting. I will elaborate in just a second. I'm just trying to see which cards I want to pick. Okay. I really like that last card because I like that color of the background. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the World card, the last card of the Major Arcana. And it's interesting. It has all these, I don't know if this is sacred geometry, on the edges here. But it's a very beautiful design. I think that the colors, I love those colors. And this can speak to endings. This can speak to a major chapter of your life closing in some way. You will have a full moon in your sign in about a month from now. I'm recording this actually a little bit more than a month. I'm recording this in the second week of February. So you might be headed to that yourself in mid-February, that ending, whenever that is. Even though I'm doing this reading at this time, I don't know, first of all, if all these cards will resonate with you, but the timing doesn't have to be within a certain 2-week period. It's just kind of like the state of affairs currently. I like to keep things kind of open. So maybe there's a major ending in your life altogether. Graduating college, ending a marriage, ending your single life, and you're going to get married or going to move in with someone, moving to another country. The World card can be about travel. So your world opening up for you. It can even be something like expansion. In the past position, we have the Eight of Swords, and this in this deck, the Light Keeper, what's it called? The Light Seers Tarot deck. They depict a lot of the negative, the more challenging swords cards with black birds. And I think that is kind of like the lower nature, or kind of those dark entities that are kind of interfering with people and plaguing them, whether you want to see them as actual entities or just part of your shadow, or part of your programming. That doesn't have to be even the shadow. It can be kind of that imprinting. And that may have kept you from something that the World card represents. Maybe you didn't think you could do it, and maybe even now you feel like you can't do it. So an example would be if you wanted to end a relationship and you were afraid to be alone, or you were afraid of that you'll never find love again, or something like that, which is kind of similar to being alone, then you might have held on to it long after you should have, and now the other party is ending it, and you feel this sense of like, it should have been me, or hey, wait a second. There's just so many examples. Perhaps it's like the Eight of Swords is you holding yourself back for some reason. And the World can be like life opening up to you, kind of feeling closed in. And like with travel, if you're afraid of something but you want to go away, but you're afraid you're going to miss people or something like that. It could be that sort of thing. The higher message is the Five of Wands, and this is that sometimes you have to get in the fray. Virgo is a very self-critical sign, and I often say I have the moon in Virgo, so I know of what I speak, and even with the sun, it can be the same thing. It's just like you expect perfection from yourself, and anything less, you may feel it's inadequate. And there's also, it's not, I don't know if I would say that Virgo is a shy sign. It's just that it's a feminine sign, being an earth sign. And so it's not necessarily, and I feel like Virgo is a very humble sign, in the sense that it's not trying to call attention to itself as a sign, like your predecessor, Leo, in the chart. Very much like, look at me, look at me. Of course, you could have inner planets in Leo, and, like if you have Mars in Leo, you might be quite dramatic in that way. But in general, you're unassuming. And the Five of Wands being a fire energy, it's like, show us what you got. And there's a competitive angle to that, and I think a lot of Virgos do not like those kinds of situations, because you feel like if you don't measure up, then it's going to say something bad about yourself. And I'm really of that nature myself. I don't like competitive things, but on the other hand, sometimes it's kind of fun to try to shine your light and see, just that kind of a challenge of trying to see if you can be at your A game and bring your A game. And also another thing too is that this card can simply be that if you surround yourself with mediocrity, then you may look really good. But if you put yourself in an environment where you are with people who are at the top of their game, then that raises you up as well. Even if you're not at the top, you still it'll rub off on you. And that can be like a much more stimulating and better environment. That doesn't mean that you won't feel insecure, but at least you will be challenged, and you won't just be kind of resting on your laurels. The Six of Wands can be talking about that achievement, but I'll get to that in a second. I wanted to say about the World card, because sometimes it can be graduating. So let's say you're graduating from college and you are afraid of the unknown, because, or if you even are talking to a certain company, you're afraid you're not going to measure up because of the environment that you're currently in, or maybe you're going to graduate school and it seems like you're going to be dealing with people of a higher intellectual nature because they're going beyond just their 4-year degrees and things like that. And so it's kind of like, as a spiritual message, I think overall, if it's positive in nature, then, you might want to accept the challenge. But if it's something where it's very contentious, then yeah, it's probably not going to be a good environment. What is coming in is a Six of Wands. So wherever you are, you can be able to be appreciated for your gifts, and that you will get those kinds of messages from others. You'll get that recognition. And this can be a card of some kind of thing that you are winning. I can't think of the right word, because it's not really about winning. It's about being seen in that sort of successful way. And it can only come from letting something go that is not the highest good for you. So in other words, if you've been playing small, don't play small. And you can really have something to celebrate. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do this card, and this is very important because this is the challenge card, the Magician card. The Magician card, I really like this depiction because it's almost like this vortex, this kind of a whirlwind. And that's a term that's used in Abraham Hicks. And I think it kind of means that creative, like the womb of creation, when you're trying to manifest something and you can't just be scattered. You have to have you have to hold a strong vision. And when you have that creative force, it's kind of like when a woman is getting pregnant and she has that embryo in the womb. There's growth that's going to happen there. So the Magician is also connected to Aries. So that could be an Aries person who is not supportive of you, just to give you confirmation of that. But the Magician in the challenge position is maybe not believing that you have that ability to be a conscious co-creator. So you might be relying too much on the outer world, Virgo, instead of what are your power? What is your innate power that you can use to make something happen? And I get these cards on the top row. I'm not necessarily talking about your own business, per se. It can be with where you're dealing with other people, but you still have this sense that you are making it happen, that you're not just kind of being led around by somebody else, and you're that manifester. And if you are in a situation where it is kind of more like the Five of Wands, and you just feel this sense of like everything is too competitive, you don't feel like there's this unity, that you can work with others in a way that is healthy, then understand that, and don't be just trying to, like, if you have ended another job because you're led by fear, to jump into something that is inharmonious, because the Five of Wands can be conflict. The outcome is a very good omen. The Three of Cups, this is a card of celebration. So there might be some kind of like celebration that you've already been invited to, a baby shower, a wedding, a graduation. Maybe it's your child's graduation or something like that, and you're already planning it. But it can simply be that you are telling people of your good news that the Six of Wands represents, and they are excited to share in your good fortune, and it makes you feel like you're getting back on track with something. The Magician card, perhaps you gave away your power in the past and you need to take it back, and then you're going to feel a sense of self-empowerment. Okay, Virgo, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I do a lot of astrology readings. I say that because I'm here doing a tarot reading, but I do private tarot readings too. And I have combination readings for people who like both like a natal chart interpretation or the transits, plus a tarot reading that's called the whole enchilada. And then I have like just a deep dive chart reading for people who really want to get deep with their chart, as well as their transits for the upcoming 12 months. That's called the deep dive. And other types of individual standalone readings. You can find out more information at the link below. Take care. Bye.